The checkout line at the supermarket looked completely ordinary. It was just another quiet afternoon, with people chatting in the aisles, and the familiar beeping sound of groceries being scanned. But everything changed the moment the man in the elegant suit stepped up to the register. He handed over his sleek black card. The cashier swiped it once, then again. Suddenly the screen flashed a word nobody expected: "Has declined." For a second, time seemed to freeze. People standing behind him exchanged amused looks. Murmurs spread through the line like wildfire. Then the cashier burst into loud laughter, making no attempt to hide her mockery. The man lowered his eyes, his jaw tightening as embarrassment washed over him. Standing beside him was a little girl who gently tugged at his hand, staring up at him with worried eyes. No one in that store knew who he really was. No one knew about the massive fortune he carried. And no one realized that this small moment of humiliation was about to become a powerful lesson in kindness. If you believe in compassion, second chances, and the incredible power of human kindness, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Corner, and share this story with someone who might need a reminder that goodness still exists in the world. The man was Alexander Grant, a billionaire who had built a powerful empire in steel and construction through relentless hard work. His name stood proudly on skyscrapers across New York, and he was used to speaking in rooms filled with the most influential people in the country. But in this small-town grocery store, none of that mattered. Here, he wasn't a billionaire. He was just a man whose card had been declined. This wasn't a bank error or fraud. It was something else entirely, a moment fate had prepared for him. For years Alexander had lived surrounded by wealth, influence and status. In that world, it was easy to overlook the everyday struggles of ordinary people. But now he stood there, stripped of his reputation, feeling the crushing weight of humiliation. The cashier laughed again, louder this time, making sure everyone nearby heard it. People leaned forward in line, eager to see the man whose payment had failed. Some whispered, others chuckled, enjoying the uncomfortable scene unfolding in front of them. Beside him stood the little girl, about 7 years old, her hair in braids, wearing a worn purple shirt. She looked at the groceries on the belt and then at the crowd around them. She didn't see a rich businessman. She saw a man who was hurting. And then, in a moment that stunned everyone, she did something no one expected. With small shaking hands, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a few crumpled bills along with several coins. It wasn't much. The kind of money a child might save from allowance or find tucked between couch cushions. Slowly, she placed the money on the counter. The store fell silent once again. But this time it was a different kind of silence. The whispers stopped. The laughter faded. Everyone watched as the little girl quietly asked the cashier to take her money and use it to help pay for the man's groceries. Alexander froze. The billionaire who had once signed checks worth millions suddenly couldn't speak. For the first time in years something stirred inside his heart. Humility. His eyes filled with tears he struggled to hold back. This child, who had almost nothing, had just given him something priceless: dignity, compassion, and a powerful reminder of what real wealth truly meant. The energy in the store changed. People who had laughed moments before now looked down in embarrassment. They had mocked a stranger's misfortune, while a child had shown the courage to be kind. Even the cashier's smile disappeared, replaced with an uncomfortable look of guilt. As the groceries were finally packed, Alexander knelt down to the little girl's height, and thanked her, his voice filled with emotion. She had no idea who he was. She didn't care about his money or his status. To her he was simply someone who needed help, and kindness demanded action. She smiled gently, unaware that her simple act had just changed the direction of his life. Instead of returning to the limousine waiting outside the store, Alexander chose to walk the girl home. Her house was small, with peeling paint and a porch that sagged slightly with age. Inside, her mother worked hard, folding laundry while watching a pot simmering on the stove. Their life was simple, filled with quiet struggles, but also quiet strength. The girl's mother was surprised to see a well-dressed stranger at the door, but she welcomed him politely without judgment. That night, Alexander couldn't sleep. The image of the girl offering her last coin stayed in his mind. For so long, he had believed wealth was measured by numbers, investments, and possessions. But now he understood something deeper. True wealth lived in kindness. In giving when you had little. In seeing the humanity in others. The next morning, Alexander made a decision that would change thousands of lives. Weeks later, headlines spread across the country. Alexander Grant, the billionaire known for his tough business tactics, had launched a massive foundation to support struggling families. Across towns and cities, grocery bills were quietly paid. Homes were repaired. Scholarships were offered to children who had never imagined attending college. But Alexander didn't just donate money. He showed up. He walked through grocery stores. He visited families. He listened to stories he once would have ignored. And at the heart of it all was the little girl in the purple shirt, the one who had offered him 3 crumpled bills. She became a symbol of the movement. Although Alexander made sure her family never struggled again, he never turned her kindness into a spectacle. Instead, he honored it by ensuring she grew up with opportunities, support, and dignity. Years later, when people spoke about Alexander Grant, they didn't focus on his skyscrapers or his billions. They remembered the day his card was declined, and how a child's kindness changed his life forever. That became his true legacy. Not steel, not money, but compassion. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, subscribe to Kindness Corner, and share it with someone who could use a reminder that kindness still has the power to change the world. And before you go, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Would you have done what the little girl did that day? Leave a comment below. Because in the end, true wealth isn't measured by the numbers in a bank account, or the shine of a credit card. It's measured by the courage to show kindness when no one else does. By the strength to help someone when others walk away. And by the ability to see hope where the world sees none. That little girl had almost nothing in her pockets. But she carried everything in her heart. And with one small act of compassion, she changed the life of a man the world believed already had it all. Let this story be more than something you simply watched. Carry its message with you. Be the person who lifts others when they fall. Give kindness, even when it seems difficult. And never stop believing in the power of humanity. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner, so more people can hear these powerful reminders. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters.